The use and reuse of oil is the keystone of our economy and therefore also a part of our prosperity and to a certain extent our comfort. Some of that comfort was really first noticed in 1859 when in America oil was first found. After this, it all happened very quickly. New oil fields were drilled and oil transport began. In some places, like the coastal area of the Hook of Holland, a channel even had to be dug in the seabed to provide ready access to enormous tankers. But with all this, a worldwide problem arose: the pollution of the sea by oil. Every year, an estimated 10 million tons of oil end up in the sea. The major causes of this are accidental and intentional draining of oil during production and transport, supply of industrial and economical waste by way of the rivers, natural oozing through the crust of the earth, precipitation from the atmosphere. Of the amount of visible oil in the sea, the largest part results from shipping, either by dumping or incidental events like a shipping disaster. The oil which is dumped is not of a large quantity, but this dumping is responsible for the largest part of the pollution of the sea. A drilling rig blowout also causes serious pollution. A disaster in which a large quantity of oil is dumped at once seriously threatens the environment. Fish are damaged. Birds and mammals have their very existence threatened, and beaches are polluted. Oil is a complex mixture of carbohydrogens varying from very volatile components to tar-like substances. The composition and properties of crude oil and refinery products range enormously. Oil spreads, aided by the waves, current and wind, into a thin air. It is therefore necessary to clean up the oil by keeping it as close as possible to the source. In the beginning, pollution was fought against using chemical means sprayed onto the pollutant or by burning or mixing it with sand in order to make it sink. Environmental technical considerations have made this method outdated. The solution has been found in mechanical removal systems. One of the first to introduce a usable system into the market was the firm of Doseq. To effectively clean up the oil on the sea, the systems have to meet a number of demands. They have to collect the oil, and they have to be so seaworthy that they can follow the movement of the waves. Doseq's oil cleaning systems meet these demands. During the early 70s, a mechanical removal system was developed which consists of sweeping arms and pumps. One arm consists of two gatherers, joined by a lattice construction bearing a screen. The oil-water mixture is led along the screen to a suction trough. Tests have shown that in less than ideal weather conditions, this system is seaworthy. Innovation and in-depth research have finally led to this advanced system as supplied now by Doseq. The sweeping arms are built on the shipyard of Van der Sluis & Campers in Puttershoek, one of Doseq's two business partners. In constructing each sweeping arm, the wishes of the client are always borne in mind. Because the sweeping conditions always differ, the suction trough of the arm has a built-in overflow which automatically follows the movement of the waves. Using davits, the sweeping arms are put overboard. To prevent the oil and water mixture escaping under the arms, they're positioned at an angle of 60 degrees to the vessel. The angle of the vessel to the arm can also be adjusted. Before an arm is delivered, all systems are thoroughly tested. An hydraulically powered centrifugal pump, part of the total suction system, then pumps the swept-up oil to a tank on board. The hydraulic system of the sweeping arms was developed and constructed by Hydrowega in Oosterhout, the other part of Doseq. The great dexterity of the sweeping arm makes it quickly and easily usable wherever. The arms can be sighted on almost any kind of ship. The ship retains its specific function but is ready to combat oil 24 hours a day. Even with less than ideal weather conditions, it is possible to use the arms with little manpower. The value of the system is determined by its capacity. The sweeping arm is able to collect 220 tons of practically water-free oil per hour at a speed of 6 kilometers per hour with its radius set at 10 meters, while the oil layer measures 5 millimeters. The sweeping arm is not fixed to a ship. For example, use can be made of a barge, which may also serve as an oil store. Capacity can be further increased by the oil being led to the sweeping arm using a so-called oil boom, where it is then swept from the water. The system is also eminently suitable for inland waterways and harbours where oil is windswept into nooks and crannies. Smaller sweeping arms, coupled to a small craft, offer excellent manoeuvring. In close collaboration with the Ministry of Transport and Public Works, Doseq has developed the oil crab, a complete system which sweeps, separates and stores oil. This system, which is cheap to acquire and which requires little maintenance, is suitable for coastal and inland waterways. The breadth of the sweep depends on the salvage possibility of the oil and varies from 15 meters for a storage capacity of 125 cubic meters to 40 meters for a capacity of 3,000 cubic meters. The water level rises at the fore of the oil crab and causes water to flow through the barge. In this barge, separation takes place. The oil is kept behind and the water leaves the barge through a vent at the rear. An adjustable skimmer at the front, which follows the wave movement, prevents unnecessary water streaming through the system. To avoid waves sweeping into the loading area and to enable rapid exhaust, removable hatches have been provided. The equipment can be moved in its entirety by a small tug wither, by pushing or taking alongside the oil crab. The development of the oil crab has meant that a valuable anti-oil unit is now available, which can be used with problems on many locations. The major advantages of mechanical removal systems like those supplied by Doseq are that the environment is not under attack during rescue operations, which is the case, for example, with chemical means, that dexterity and effectiveness are ensured even in poor weather conditions. Aside from this, the oil which has been swept up can be reused in the production process. Doseq, a company which, through innovation and research, keeps on working on oil-fighting systems in order to contribute to the protection of our aquatic environment.